you remember the P125X that I built for the Snakes Rally Raffle in Tennessee? Well, I liked it so much, I bought it back. Even back when I was building it, I always wanted to put a disc brake on it and a bigger engine, so that's what I did. And oh boy is it big. Alright, here's the bike complete. Just before I redid it with this motor and this fork, I took it to the small bore rally in Tennessee last year, and this pinstriping was done by a young guy named Kyle Ford. Pinstriping, I mean hand lettering. And since it suffered a little bit, which really adds to the appeal, I've lost this cowl twice, slid on the road, you know. Same thing on the other side, and with the 174 it became one of my bikes. The mirror here is not on there for looks, sadly. If I can, I'd like to avoid it. That one is plenty, but this was when I was going on the highway and I was going far and needed the phone mount. I just safer, you know. Alright, let's take a quick look at our dash. Up here we have an EGT. Normally you have a different key. We have an EGT up here. That will come on at some point. There you go. And down here we have the Trailtech Vapor. The biggest disadvantage of this specific speedo, I mean, it's pretty good at picking up revs, temps, and whatnot. So I got my cylinder head temps there. What it does not do is go over 1,999 miles. So I reset this at 2,000 miles on my way to Cincinnati to the last rally. So we're up, let's say 200 miles, and I had over 300 before I reset it after breaking in the motor. So I'm 2,500 deep into this specific engine without any internal problems, aside me being an idiot and burning up clutches during the burnouts. Up here we got a radial setup. What I've done is I've cut a notch out of the handlebar and put a solid aluminum tube on here that is kept in place with two bolts from underneath, and we have a normal motorcycle throttle with Moto Gadget grips. I really do like these. I put them on all of my bikes and motorcycles, really, just to feel comfortable. I really like this grip. I have already crashed this bike in a parking lot doing wheelies, so I broke this knob off, so I made a new one just so I can adjust the throw distance to brake. The end pieces here made of brass. Also made these on the lathe, and because this is a solid tube, is just got tapped in here. On the other side, I've welded in an insert into the tube, and then same thing, put a bolt through there. Down here we got a charger. Actually, having this charger on here has been life-saving, especially on long trips, for two reasons. Number one, I can see when my bike is charging, so it will be at 13.6, 13.7 volts when it's running. So if something's up, I will know. The fuse blows and whatnot, that will work. We still got blue lights in here. I got a bunch of stuff for rides. This piece here broke off shortly after I've done this. There's a long history to this crack, as this cover was from the Orange Stella that you've seen on my channel before, and that bike came from Hawaii, and on the trip over to Hawaii this crack happened. So I'm nostalgic. I'm not gonna fix it. It's good as. Here are scratches from my little crash incident. Down here we got the Pinasco radial setup with a shortened LML fork and SIP 185mm shocks. They're pretty stiff. But I mean, this whole bike is actually pretty stiff. Up there we have 11-inch front wheel. Despite thinking he would bottom out, I've tried braking really hard and I've hit a bunch of really bad potholes. I have not hit the top of my fork yet. Tires on there are Heidenau K61s. They are pretty good in the wet and on the dry. The gas can is pretty much standard now because I get about 50 to 60 miles to the gallon, depending on how I ride. So I do need this thing. Story time when I rode to Cincinnati. Basically, I would go get gas every second stop. So I would be on the highway for about 3 hours straight. I'd go 50 miles, pull over, fill up, hop back on, go 50 miles at 70 plus miles an hour, and then go to a gas station and fill both the tank up and the gas can up. Despite 50 miles not feeling like a lot, riding on a scooter like this, it's actually quite nice to get off every now and then and stretch your legs. Engine wise, we got a Quattrini 252. So this is a Quattrini 244 that has been ported for a 62 mil stroke. It's been adapted for a blowdown of I want to say just under 30. It's been a while, but I've run 3 pipes on this now. Number 1 was the Nordspeed RT25. It actually was too long for my chubby butt and it would bottom out on the streets of Atlanta, and I broke it twice. I broke it once on a long ride to Alabama and I had to hold it up with zip ties. That was actually pretty fun. Number 2 is a Posh Nessie, my favorite exhaust of all of these. It's in hiding right now because it's going as this to AmeriVespa. If you are seeing this from AmeriVespa, or if you go into AmeriVespa, you'll see the bike as this. Reason being, honestly, this was the easiest to mount. I just had to do clutch plates, and someone else is gonna ride it and be a bit more mellow with a box exhaust. So this is more a concern for the person riding it. I got my EGT that goes up to the coastal gauge up there. Back here we also have a zip shock, 11-inch wheel in the back as it was already cut and moved over, with Heidenau K61s, with some leftover burnout stuff. There isn't that much left on this tire. This is, that oil is from me just driving through something. But after, or probably during this season, I'll have to replace it. And I gotta stop doing burnouts. Up here we got MRP's finest, the MRP intake with V-Force reeds and a TMX 35 mil carb. The Crazy Monkey development piece has been necessary. I also had to finagle the cowl a little bit just to get it to sit on. Behind there is a fuel pump. That fuel pump is sadly busted. I haven't been able to fix it in time. If you're not going 90, I honestly don't feel like I'm running out of fuel, so it's not that big of a deal. As for performance, I really like riding this thing. You ride it on the highway like a motorcycle. It does not, especially in the US where people are going 70, not like in Europe or in Germany where we're going 150, 160 kilometers an hour. No, here we're going 70 miles an hour, and it's very fun to keep flow with traffic. So my play was to find a truck and stick behind him and just keep chilling without getting too much wind in my face. I really like this tank. This seat, the long tail seat. I had to move my 50 Special light down. This 50 Special has an LED and an LED strip for running lights in there. But this seat, especially me being tall, is the play. It's on my Allstate, it's on my Sprint, it's on this, it's gonna be on the small frame. I'd put it on my GTS if I could. But this seat for me, for a tall person, that's the way to go. Until then, don't forget to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you then. I will probably add in the end here a couple of riding videos that I've shot throughout my 2,500 miles. A couple of photos, etc. Just so you can see the fun that I've had in this bike so far. And there'll be plenty more of fun on the specific scooter as is. That said, if you have a TX200 or a GS200 frame in the US, I will change everything about this scooter into a GS frame, a GS200 or a TX200 frame, because I like the T5. Thanks, bye.